Noble, steadfast, righteous. Commissars are amongst the best motivators in the Imperium, and with a vast array of communication skills,
If you can breathe, you can kill!
teamwork strategies, and inspirational ideas, with one leading your team, you will never stray too far from the path. What could be more inspiring than watching your colleague get summarily blamed for cowardice by your friendly neighborhood commissar? There's just something about the boom of a bolt pistol that makes potential traitors turn loyalist, or at the very least, loyalist adjacent. Commissars, they're here to help with a well-placed bolt round. At this point, you probably already have at least a basic understanding of how the new itemization system works in Darktide's unlocked and loaded update. Bricky, JTC, and whoever else your favorite Darktide creators are have already explored that to varying degrees, so today we'll explore a different angle. We'll try and cover a few tidbits you perhaps didn't know about, but really the focus will be on how we can make the system work for us while creating a fun, thematic, and efficacious Commissar build that will purge Atoma Prime in a brilliant display of gore and traitor guard parts. The best way I know how to do that is with the trusty Chainsword and the newly buffed bolt pistol. Now this build and these weapons are not designed to dominate the kill feed. They are not going to show your name up in pretty lights 15 times in 3 seconds, the way that a plasma volley fire build would. This is a build designed to make use of veterans' frankly broken melee talents, good mobility, and weapon switching to provide a stable, powerful yet not super flashy bastion around which your entire team can operate and feel safer, upon which they can return to when things really start to hit the proverbial fan, where you are actively encouraged to weave both melee and ranged combat into your standard gameplay as much as possible. Essentially, you'll want to have solid Tide fundamentals to rock this to its fullest potential, but when things get hairy, you can always fall back on your funny panic button, press F, reset the situation with voice of command, and give them the good old Kasserkin double tap. It may not be perfectly min-maxed and optimized, you may disagree with a few nodes here or there, but it is very much ready for high-intensity Shock Troop Gauntlet, Auric Maelstrom, or any other type of difficulty you might enjoy. But before we get into the gameplay and execute the Mobian Sixth, for such is the fate of all heretics, we must first god roll some weapons with the new itemization system. So, this is the new itemization overhaul in Darktide, everyone's favorite carpal tunnel simulator. Seriously, do your finger stretches or pain awaits you as you get older. It's an awesome gameplay loop, but it will fast track your joint inflammation if you are not careful. 2 years in, the locks have finally been abolished, and we have a targeted way to get those juicy weapons with the blessing and perk combos we have always wanted. No longer will Mommy Hadron deny you anything salvageable 300 clicks in a row. Now, you only need to click 200 times to get mastery all the way to full on a specific weapon and kit yourself out with something real nasty. Mastery is now the general framework through which all weapons travel, with a specific track unique to each weapon family, like dueling swords, autoguns, or Ogren pickaxes. As you level up mastery for each family, from previously unlocked blessings before the patch, playing missions, or using the new sacrifice feature, you will unlock marks, higher power level, and blessing points that can be used to customize a weapon to your specifications. All the content that was in the game before is obviously still there, including your old orange tier weapons, but you now have a targeted way to create a specific god roll that will not be limited in any way. The blessings, the perks, everything you want, you can now make it the way you see fit. You're just gonna have to pay for it with dockets, plasteel, and diamantine, go figure. If you're looking for the most efficient way to achieve max mastery for, say, a bolt pistol, you want to head over to Brunt's Armory, spam out maybe a good 20 to 30 gray tier weapons, then upgrade each of them to green. At the moment, a green tier weapon gives as much mastery XP as an orange tier one, and it will only cost you 100 plasteel per weapon, where if you were to upgrade it all the way to orange, you might be spending 1200 plus. So it's a much more efficient use of what has traditionally been a major limiting factor on the crafting side of Darktide. Plasteel can be hard to come by, you don't want to waste it. Of course, if you are running low on crafting mats, fear not. One Auric Damnation mission alone can get you multiple mastery levels early on, and as you approach the max level of 20, will still give you about a level or so a pop. Lower difficulties will still grant you plenty of XP, whether that be Damnation or Sedition, but Auric level operations will power level you the fastest. That's what I play, so I'm more familiar with how much XP you get from each completed mission on Auric Damnation. So, why is leveling Mastery important? Well, it's how you unlock the individual weapon marks for each family, like the Rashad and Antax for combat axes, and it's also how you unlock Tier 4 blessings, which typically become available around level 14 or 15 Mastery. It also governs the new Empower feature, which is how you stat boost the damage, finesse, penetration, and mobility of a certain weapon, and move that 71% much closer to the cap of 80. For full breakdown of that, level 6 Mastery unlocks Empower to 200, level 11 Mastery unlocks Empower to 300, level 15 to 400, and level 19 to 500, which is the new max rating of a weapon. So even if you didn't get perfect stat rolls, you can pay some material and increase those percentages across the board. Important for me to note here too, when using the sacrifice feature, you can sacrifice any weapon to give you Mastery XP, so you could sacrifice a crappy Power Sword and get Akatran Lasgun Mastery XP, but if you match it to the same family and weapon type, like sacrifice a Power Sword to the Power Sword family, you will get a 5 times multiplier on the XP earned. So generally speaking, you are encouraged heavily to only sacrifice stuff that is related to the weapon you are currently mastering. What this also means is Brunt's Armory has been nerfed heavily and no longer even has a potential for rolling a 380 max level weapon. Everything in Brunt is 270 to 330 power now, increasing to that cap of 330 as Mastery goes up. Instead, Sire Melk and Emperor's Gifts are way more useful now, frequently dropping max statted items, and for any 330 rating weapon you roll from Brunt, you'll need to spend material to empower it up to the new cap of 500 to get those full stat rolls and every individual stat in that 70 to 80 sweet spot. To give you all a general idea of material cost to take a 320 rating Chainsword and empower it up to the max of 500, it'll run you about 66,000 ducats, 2,000 plasteel, and 1150 diamantine, which isn't an insignificant amount, but is roughly equivalent to 2 or 3 clears of a Damnation mission from the Auric board. Realistically, to god roll a weapon and make it exactly what you want, that's not that bad. If you're regularly clearing Auric Maelstrom, it will not take you long to get the mats you need, and in fact, you probably already have them. So as a quick review of that system, this whole setup rewards players for playing with a specific weapon by allowing them to unlock the parts they want when they want, and allows them to modify and personalize to a greater degree than we've had in the past. It's a decent compromise with some flexibility, with the major annoyance being, if you are a returning vet, there is a lot of damn clicking, which gets very annoying by your 3rd or 4th mastery. If you're new to the game, it's probably not going to be as big a deal for you, because you don't need god rolls when you're playing Sedition or whatever the hell. So I'd say for brand new players, though the system can be a little bit confusing, it's pretty good. For returning vets, it can also be good, because now you can get the targeted god rolls you want, but there's a lot of clicking and some annoyances on the UI side of things. It's not perfect, but it's decent. So with that out of the way, let's talk Commissar stuff. As you saw, made a pretty disgusting bolt pistol and chainsword with the new system, fully maxed out and ready to blam a steady supply of Mobian heretics. There's a couple ways to play the bolt pistol right now. People seem to like the puncture lethal proximity build a lot, where the bleed often provides that last remaining tick of damage required to finish off certain specials and elites, and the close range explosions help stagger and control hordes with no minimum detonation range requirement that bolt guns typically have. But for me, I like my bolt guns to crit and crit often. Critting is really good on bolt guns especially. It creates a lot of one-shot jib potential, and it literally causes enemies to explode in a shower of gore, so it's fun on the visual side and from a practical standpoint. I want my bolt guns to deal as much damage as possible, because if I only have 8 shots, I gotta make them count, right? And I'm not gonna spend too much time firing into Poxwalker hordes. It's what melee is for. You can make it a horde control weapon if you want, but I think there are better choices out there. Which is why Deadshot and Surgical paired with Deadly Accurate are my go-tos here. Surgical increases crit chance the longer we stay aimed down sights. Deadshot from the skill tree does a similar thing at the cost of draining stamina. And Deadly Accurate, a new blessing for the bolt pistol, gives us a 100% critical weak spot damage boost. So why is the bolt pistol good now? Well, I believe its weakness versus Infested was removed, as it was for the regular bolt gun, so shooting into poxwalkers and poxhounds is no longer an exercise in futility, but more importantly, it now has less sway, more cleave, a bigger projectile hitbox, which makes headshotting way easier, and if it penetrates a limb and continues on into the body, it will now get the torso modifier, not the limb modifier. Which means you aren't being punished and dealing less damage if a stray limb happens to block a bolt round, as long as that round then continues on into something more important, like a chest or a head. So when you combine that with its quick swap potential and good mobility, it's a perfect weapon to pair with a veteran build that operates solely on that premise of blending melee and range together. Kill a couple important specials, swap to chainsword, cleave the horde, quick swap back, and blast off a few more rounds, killing a few more specials. It is not and never will be as powerful as the regular bolt gun, nor should it be. You are not going to enter a room, press F, and delete 45 highlighted gunners and 2 mags like you can with a regular bolt gun, or get spectacular kill feeds like you can with the plasma. That is not the role of this weapon. It is for keeping on the move, blasting a few high value targets, then charging back into the fray with your team to press F and keep that voice of command poppin'. As for the chainsword, I personally love the Mark IV. It is a quintessential Commissar weapon, although of course you could get away with rocking a dueling sword or power sword if you desired that as well. And the Savage Sweep Rampage combo gives you huge crowd control cleaving strikes that can decapitate 5 or 6 dudes at once. Heavy attacks are amazing with this setup, and they're easy to perform when you're getting overwhelmed. If you have time, rev it up and swing high into the head of a Crusher or Rager. It has decent armor penetrating properties on special attacks. It can one-shot Ragers to the head, but crack grenades are your main avenue for deleting a Crusher or a Bulwark, and with the rending nodes we'll be picking up on the skill tree, we can also just kill him with 4 to 6 headshots, which is really not bad. So this is the build. Volley Adept for the 30% reload speed isn't super needed, but I personally like it. You reload a lot when your mag size is only 8. Go down the middle of the tree for cracks, buff them up with Grenade Tinkerer, Fire Team, and Demolition Stockpile for free nades every minute. Hard to say no on that one. I think it's one of the best perks in the entire tree. Kind of an auto-include. Voice of Command with Duty and Honor modifier. Super thematic for a Commissar and also just stupidly good. And in the middle section near the bottom, fairly negotiable here, but I like Tactical Awareness a ton because you deal with a million specialists in high intensity Shock Troop Gauntlet, obviously. So every time you're killing one of those, it really allows you to keep that uptime on Voice of Command up. You can spam it all you want. Iron Will and Rending, both very good. And then of course we pick up Deadshot on the left side of the tree. Now the right side is where the really broken stuff is. Close Quarters Kill Zone, Desperado, Melee Rending, Attack Speed, and then the Keystones. Weapon Specialist is fantastic for this playstyle. We're constantly running with like maxed out crit chance with the bolt pistol. Swap to chainsword and suddenly you have some huge melee buffs. Swap back to your bolt pistol, you've got all kinds of range buffs. Don't have to think about it too much. You just need to be swapping when the situation calls for it. If you see something down range, pop off, kill it, kill something in melee, swap back, and you're getting all these buffs all the time to both elements of your gameplay. What that means is you do not want to be sitting in the back line just popping off with your gun out all the time. You need to be switching. You need to be taking a proactive frontline role and occasionally dip back to take out a trapper or something, but then dive back into the front. But yeah, Invigorated really ties this whole thing together. Deadshot is draining your stamina passively and every time you shoot as well. And with this playstyle, you're typically going to be running around, sliding, hitting things in melee, push attacking, blocking enemy attacks. And all that can leave you in a dangerous situation if you run out of stam at the wrong time. Invigorated saves your butt on that front. When you activate Melee Specialist, you automatically restore 20% stamina. Don't have to think about it. You switch to your chainsword and immediately you have 20% extra stamina to work with, which is potentially life-saving. It takes a situation where you could easily get caught out with 0 stam, have your block broken, get stunned, and then die, and outright prevents that from happening, because it ensures you will always have stamina the millisecond you switch back to your melee weapon, even if Deadshot carried your bolt pistol and your stamina all the way down to 0% stam. So Invigorated and Deadshot go hand in hand. It is a really nice combo. Get all the benefits of the massive crit rate when you're shooting without the big downside and danger on the melee side. And then, yeah, the right side of veteran skill tree right now is just kind of bananas. Desperado is ridiculous. You get stacking rending in melee, you get attack speed. It doesn't really matter how you build vet right now, honestly. You can kind of just pick random nodes and you'll probably fall into something at least halfway decent, but as a melee class, veteran is surprisingly strong. Not much more to say about it though. Your job is to be near the team and press F to pay respects for the traitor legions, like a lot. Spam voice of command all day, every day, 24/7, 365. Give everybody that glorious yellow toughness overshield. Snipe out specials, crack grenade, and chainsaw down armor. Cleave through the hordes, hit headshots, and stay mobile. You do all that together, your teammates are probably gonna love you. And if they don't, well, we know how friendly fragging motivates the guard. Should be doubly true for the rejects in orbit above Atoma Prime. I'll leave you all with a few gameplay snippets here at the end and a screenshot of the full build should you want to give it a shot yourself. Hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you very much to Fat Shark for sponsoring this video. I am Eddie Pride from Milk and Cookies Total War, and I'll see you all in the next one. That was very satisfying. No, don't crack him! Oh, it's a big boy. Gonna be honest, that did not deserve a headshot. It was cutting up his armpit, but hell, it looked cool. I'll take it. Savage Sweet Rampage combo, man. That cleave is real nice. We're going in! Yeah, that's what the bolt gun can't really do, right? Not that the bolt gun isn't an amazing weapon, especially after the patch, it is. It's super good. But being able to quick swap like that is so effective and important in so many situations. Swapping off bolt gun, I mean, it takes a while. It can get you killed sometimes. Bolt pistol doesn't really have that issue. It's like a fun-sized Halloween candy. Same great taste, just a smaller package. I forgot to heal! I forgot to heal! Ah! Alright, it's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Who needs HP anyway? Can't go back now. That's a lot of stuff. I hate the pox grenadiers on this map, dude. They'll just get it from the far side of the train over all the obstacles and you'll never even see them. Sniper needs to die. Kill him to the door.
Come on and feel it, you're relying on it. Cowards.
My ult. Just do not stand near the edge, boys. Every time the shield pops, he will knock you off. I've seen so many teams wipe like that. And do not stand over there by where that guy died. I'm going for the Grenadier. I don't have my ammo. Oh, Lord. He's running away. This is bad. Oh, I put down health. Okay. Alright. Did not know we had a med kit. That was good. Chainsword is really good for cutting through the shield. And for dealing damage to him once it's down. Oh, crack on our feet. Maybe that'll help. That's gonna help. Oh my. What is going on, dude? Got 20 seconds.
Report your situation.
We good. Woo! It's like some kind of high intensity shock troop gauntlet, almost. That's crazy. Not bad. We lost nobody that game. Not a single death, I don't think. Not the smoothest run ever, but I do love how intense that finale gets.